Good morning, everybody. We have a lower trade in the grain markets here early on Tuesday morning. It is 6:30 a.m. Central Time. March corn futures down 3/4 of a cent at 439 and a quarter. January soybeans are down 2 at 1241 and a quarter. March Chicago wheat down 6 at 605 and a quarter. March Kansas City wheat down 10 cents at 564 and a half. March spring wheat down 4 and a quarter at 566. Financial markets yesterday were largely able to shrug off early weakness and panic associated with this new COVID strain overseas. The story that I'm sure you've heard by now is that there is a new, more contagious strain of COVID that's circulated in the UK. There are a bunch of countries that have instituted travel restrictions on any incoming flight from the UK, things along those lines. But the grain markets were able to come back and close higher, sharply higher in the case of the soybean market. The stock market finished only marginally lower, was able to finish well off of the lows. So I'd say that panic was very short-lived here, at least for the moment. There are some news outlets reporting that the new vaccines will be effective against this new virus strain, although I don't think that there's any certainty there by any means. Congress yesterday approved a coronavirus aid package, $892 billion in coronavirus aid, and this was included in the new government spending bill, which totaled $2.3 trillion and includes government spending guidelines for the year. That bill averted a government shutdown. Under this new virus package, kind of same old song and dance, another $600, some additional aid for small businesses. This is the first such package since March or April. It's long overdue. Labor strikes in Argentina continue. More than 100 grain cargo ships have been delayed due to labor strikes. These strikes are pretty commonplace in Argentina. They happen every year, but they certainly do have the ability to disrupt trade flows and disrupt logistics and that sort of thing. This is the second week. We're entering the second week of the strike, so we'll see what develops there. More rains will push across Brazil over the next several days. In the period from now through Saturday, a good chunk of central and northern Brazil will see a couple inches of rain at least. Southern Brazil and Argentina, notably dry during the same period. Better rains expected for Brazil and Argentina in the extended forecast, and those rains in the extended forecast also continue in northern and central areas. I really don't think that this rally in the soybean market has a whole lot to do with South American weather. I think that as of right now, the prospect is still that Brazil has a record crop. By how much, I don't know. Is it 130? Is it 135? Is it 128? I don't know. It's probably somewhere in that range. The previous record was 126. I really think that the bigger issue here is we've got an incredibly tight U.S. supply and demand situation. These higher prices to this point have done very little to curb demand, and I think we're trying to find a price that does curb demand. Now, we've seen forward soybean crush margins back off a little bit. Export sales have certainly backed off, which is seasonal, but in a pretty tight situation here, certainly. I don't know if South American weather is a big driver here. Another thing might be inflation. I think there are some inflationary forces that are impacting some of these markets here. And I'm not saying that's the reason why the grain markets are rallying, but I don't think it hurts, and I think it could be a contributing factor. And I think that it could certainly institute some more bullish sentiment among large traders. The fact that we've got a very weak U.S. dollar, the government is printing money like it's going out of style. I don't think any of those things hurt the markets. I mean, the big story is that we've got a much tighter supply and demand situation for soybeans and for corn, but there are some other factors at play here, certainly when it comes to money flow. Some areas of the U.S. plains and western corn belt are going to see some drought relief. Really not a whole lot until about the 30th, and then that period from December 30th through about January 7th. A good chunk of Kansas and Oklahoma will see anywhere from an inch up to 3 inches of rain locally, according to this morning's forecast. You're going to see some of that same relief in the drier parts of Iowa, parts of eastern Nebraska, eastern South Dakota. Drought has been a big issue in some of these areas. I'm not going to call this a drought-busting event, but these maps do look a little bit different to me, at least, than they did yesterday, and maybe that's the reason why the wheat market, especially that Kansas City wheat market, is under a little bit of pressure today. Remember, this week we've got a holiday shortened week. Christmas is Friday, of course. January grain options expire Thursday, and we close early Thursday at 12:05 Central Time, and then we're closed Friday. Following Friday's close, the grain markets will reopen Sunday night at 7 o'clock. The cattle market was mostly higher yesterday. Started off lower and then kind of bounced back along with a lot of markets. So that, again, that initial COVID panic, whatever you want to call it, didn't last very long in the cattle. No cash cattle trade to be reported yesterday. The box beef market was a little bit higher. Ahead of the cash open this morning, the Dow Jones is up 14 points. The S&P is up 9 points. U.S. dollar's about flat, but still generally under pressure. We've got the crude oil down 48 cents in the February WTI at 47.48. If you'd like some more information from me, go to my website. It is www.standardgrain.com. Go to that website, click on Grain Marketing Plan here in the upper right-hand corner. If you scroll down for $49 a month, you can sign up for my grain marketing service, and I'll let you know exactly how I'm marketing corn, soybeans, and wheat throughout the year. It's broken down by crop period, by percentage. There's no other fee. There's no other obligation. This is auto billed to your credit card every month. You could cancel it at any time. I'll let you know what I'm doing every day of the week through an email, which goes out at 6:30 in the morning every business day, and a text message service as well. Everyone have a wonderful day today. I will talk to you same time tomorrow.